What is up, everybody? We're rolling audio here today on episode 60 of the Hodder Show. How are you doing today? I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day so far. Thank you so much for tuning in, clicking that play button on this very fun episode of the Hodder Show. I am sitting down with my good friend, Mr. Matthew Cannons, the number one fan of the Hodder Show, ladies and gentlemen. We sit down, we talk a whole bunch of BS. We talk about kind of how he came into my friends group and that kind of thing, how he randomly just appeared one day. Tell us about that kind of thing and talk about just stuff like that. So it's fun to hear that insight. You'll hear me say to Matthew a couple times, I literally don't know that, so I did it for me. I wanted to hear about it. And we talk about wrestling. Of course, we talk a ton about wrestling, a little bit about food and all that kind of stuff. Matthew is going to be a member of my wrestling panel coming up in the future whenever we do another wrestling panel show. So I wanted to do this episode kind of to get you guys who listen to the podcast regularly familiar with Matthew. I think Matthew's a great guy. I think he's a funny guy. Don't really hear a lot of his humor in this episode. We kind of keep it serious. But either way, we were kind of hanging out, so I wanted to have him on the podcast and just kind of shoot the breeze with him. So it's a real fun episode. I really hope you guys enjoy it. It's been a really, really fun week. As you guys know, last week was my birthday. So it was a very busy week. So for those of you who missed out on the two podcasts last week, I do apologize that there was only one, but I think that one last week made out for it. Having Sam on the podcast for the first time was definitely awesome. It was so much fun to do that. I know she had fun doing it, even if she said she didn't, even if she says she's never going to do it again. I promise you guys one day I will get her on again. It might have to be on my next birthday, but if it's my birthday, she can't say no. So we'll see what it is. But I appreciate everybody who checked out that episode. We're going steady here on the Hodder Show, folks. We are building a brand. Every single episode, I try to make it a little better if I can. And with the addition of this awesome new board, I hope you guys are enjoying the sound quality of this episode so far here. I do apologize for the last one. There was some noise issues and that kind of thing. I have since resolved them. I have learned how to use this board, and I think personally, I think it sounds great. I don't think I've ever sounded this clear before. I also have the producer of the Hodder Show, Mr. Brandon Bow, doing a little bit of editing, but we'll talk about that another time because I want to get into this podcast here with my man Matthew Cannons because this is such a fun podcast. Definitely am going to have Matthew on again, but we are going to roll into this podcast here with Matthew. Let's get into it. All right, so we're hanging out at the kitchen table, folks, in the kitchenette area of the Hodder Show studios, and I'm hanging out with my man here. He's my number one fan, folks. He listens to every single podcast, and I know he does because I can see that he listens to it. He messages me about it. He Snapchats me about it, and he'll be, oh, yes, on your podcast, I heard this. So I know he actually listens, so thank you to that. I've shouted him out on basically every podcast for the last, I think 6 episodes. He's a guy I haven't known very long, actually. I think this year, actually, was kind of when we started kind of hanging out.
Royal Rumble,
Rumble, yeah.
You know?
That was like the first time we actually met.
The debut of TJ Hodder and the WWE debut of AJ Styles.
Yes. And we were hanging out. And just started talking wrestling, that kind of thing. I don't know why I'm still like leading you in this intro here. Like I'm going to introduce you. People are going to know who you are because you just talk, but whatever. I'm going to do it anyway.
And sorry, I had to. It felt right there.
That's okay. You just do your thing. Ladies and gentlemen, the Mark Matthew Cannons.
How's it going? Long time listener, first time caller.
I love that. You said to me before, you're like, yeah, I'm going to literally do that because like literally. I know you listen, and I know you listen to them all. So it's like, I'm like, yo, like, that's hilarious. Yeah,
no, I did Slack there for a little while, but then I just did a huge catch up. And I think you saw that big catch up. I did like 18 episodes or whatever.
Well, you know how I know, right? Is because you listen to it on iTunes, right?
Yeah.
You know how I know? Because I'll go in and I'll see like episode like 52 goes up in views. And I'm like, who is listening to, and then I'm like, oh yeah, Matthew. So because I know you do, because I think you're the only person who listens on iTunes anymore. So really? I'm like, yeah, I know a lot of people listen to iTunes. It's weird. You think one would listen, but because it's the easiest way to listen to the Hodder Show, folks. But whatever.
That or SoundCloud.
SoundCloud's cool. I prefer SoundCloud.
Yeah.
Not because I pay for it, but whatever. YouTube's cool. But we're hanging out. It's first time over at my house, actually. And he comes in and we're sitting down kind of shooting the breeze, and he's kind of looking around, and I'm like, why is he looking around like that? I'm like, oh yeah, he's never been to my house before. Because I feel like we've known each other for like years. And I just kind of realized just now, I'm like, I've known you for like a few months. It's weird. Like, I've known of you, but I'm like, what the? I'm like,
yeah, like, same here. I've heard the, Garrett or Bowden or Woody go, okay, my buddy TJ, and then never met you till, like...
The Royal Rumble.
Yeah. And that's not that long ago.
Yeah, it literally was... It was literally this year. Yeah. So it's pretty funny that, like, we're... And you didn't meet Sam until like a couple of weeks ago at the bar.
Yeah.
And so it's just funny. Like she's just like, you've talked about like Matthew this and talking about wrestling and this and Matthew that. And she's just like, what? Like you don't even know this guy. Like what? I'm like, but that's not the point. The point is Matthew knows everybody I know. And that's the best segue I've probably ever done, because the other nickname that this guy has, you heard me say it earlier, the man who literally knows everybody. Now, when I say that, folks, I'm not joking. He knows everybody, because every single person I talk to, somehow your name will come up in conversation, or I'll see it on Facebook. I'm like, this person? Oh yeah, this person, this and this, and oh, I know them. I know that person. I know this person. And I'm just like, do you know everybody? It's like, yeah. You got Neville, who's the man that gravity forgot, and you got Matthew, who just knows everybody. I think the one that really was the funniest was when you were like, oh yeah, Stormcrows. Like I think you saw I liked it, and you're like, oh yeah, Stormcrows, I know them. And I was like, what? And you just knew them, and I was like, that's so funny. And now it's like become this thing where like I'm talking to my buddy Pat. He's like, yeah, I met this guy at the Pop Evil Outshine show, and he said he knew you, and like he talked about my shirt and that or whatever, and I'm like, he just knows everybody.
That was actually the first time I ever met Pat there. Mm-hmm. Like, I was like, okay, this guy's wearing a Hodder Show t-shirt, so it means he's a fan. Okay, so it means he's somebody in the group I haven't met, or someone from... usually around this area.
Yes. I mean, in all actuality, if you're listening to the podcast, you're probably either my friend or I know you somehow.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, he's wearing a Hodder Show shirt. Might as well go talk to him. And then I listen to the podcast like later, and it's like you bring Pat up as a big thing in one of the episodes, and I'm like, that guy? Oh,
yeah, probably the
guy.
Guitar one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Pat, he was like my jam buddy forever.
No, it was the Drinking Buddy episodes. Oh,
yeah, duh. And my Drinking Buddy. Guitar buddy, Drinking Buddy.
Yeah.
Pretty much everything. But yeah, it's funny, but we're hanging out, and one of the things that I think is so funny about this whole thing is like, you just kind of showed up. Like, and I feel like I've asked other people, so like, how'd you meet Matt? It's just like, I don't know. He just showed up one day, and I was like, what's up? Like, so like, I mean, this is more for me, because like I want to know, because I don't understand and I don't know how it happened. There's all these things I don't know about you, so I'm just gonna ask. This episode is mainly for me. All right, I just want to learn more about you, and we'll talk music, we'll talk wrestling, we'll talk all that kind of stuff. But people who are friends and that might be interested in this, because they might not know either. But
well, most of them are like, they still have the I don't know where, but it's not a bad thing. Just
it's
just like, where the hell did you come from?
Yeah, it's like you open your fridge and there's a piece of pizza in there, like a good piece of pizza.
Yeah,
like
with no pineapples.
No pineapples on my damn pizza. I cannot stand Segway City, bitch. I cannot stand vegetables of any kind on my pizza, like any. Are you the same?
I'm the same. Have I not sent you a Snapchat of my pizza?
No, I don't think so.
It is like from Pizza. It's you get pepperonis, normal size, chicken, bacon strips, And barbecue sauce.
So I would eat that.
That thing, it's good. Amazing.
You know what the best pizza you'll ever eat is? And I'm shouting this place out because I think they have the best pizza in the world. The guy who runs it is an awesome, really nice dude, and their prices are amazing. Jrs Sourdough Pizza in Bowmanville.
Never been there.
It's kind of hard to find. We're talking about pizza here for a second, folks. You know where the bus stop is right at Liberty? There's a Max there now.
Yeah,
right on the corner there.
Yeah,
Staples is there as well.
Yeah.
If you go to the Max, across the street from that, there's like this little kind of like lot. Nothing was there forever, and now Hank's is there.
That's the chip truck, right?
Yes, Hank's is it's Hank's Chips and More, whatever they call it now. Used to be a restaurant. Beside that is this little tiny chip truck looking thing, and it's JR's Jr. Sourdough Pizza. Matthew, I swear to you on my life, I'm not a bullshitter. That is the best
you're
pizza.
Not the Riley Wood.
Not to mention I don't joke around when it comes to pizza.
No.
That is the best pizza I have ever eaten in my entire life. Nothing comes close to that. And it's sourdough pizza. So it's sourdough. Mm-hmm. Sounds weird, right?
Yeah.
It's so much better. And like the dough itself is like lighter. So like you eat more of it and you don't get like bloated. You're like, I ate too much. I can literally probably eat three pizzas. I feel
probably shouldn't, but
you shouldn't. But I'm going to anyway because I'm a fat guy.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Too sweet me. And like I'm just like, that's amazing. It's amazing pizza. So big shout out to JR Sourdough Pizza in Bowmanville there. Guys, check it out because he's a good dude as well. Junior, the guy who runs it, and he makes amazing pizza. So we're gonna get off pizza though, but that's a fun little segue. That's a fat guy segue if I've ever heard one.
I know.
I feel like we're like kindred spirits and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Now that Brandon's lost all this weight and he's all like skinny and
I know, it was one of those things like I meet Brandon I think it probably was like year and a half, 2 years ago, not even that long to be honest. And it's like he's started out that big guy. I'm like, I see him, he's bigger than me, and now it's like where did you go? He's like 100,
like
not in a bad way. Like
no, not
he
at all.
looks great.
Yeah,
like
as a very straight heterosexual male, I will say Brandon looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like if I was a woman, I mean, I would have before.
Yeah, you probably would.
But now I'm like, okay.
Come on,
like,
that personality.
Yeah. But now I'm like, okay, like, all right, okay. But he works hard. So shout out to Brandon, producer Brandon Madden. So we were talking before we started talking about pizza and that kind of thing. And that's how this is going to go. And that's fun. I'm all for it. We're hanging out and we're laughing. Who did you meet first out of like our little group of people?
Considering group of people, like are you talking
the
like
normal crew?
The normal crew,
yeah,
or,
like me,
or the extended crew?
I'd say the normal crew, and that's with all due respect to the extended crew. The people I see on a regular basis. You got Woody, you got Rachel, and all them.
Well, I have to say the two people that I met, like the normal crew first, was Garrett and Woody.
Okay.
Both at one of long-haired Eric's parties.
Okay, yes. Eric's the one. He's one of the guys I don't really know Eric that well. But that was a good dude. I don't know that well.
But no, I met them at one of his parties, and just kept seeing him at parties and then other events, and that's the ones I met first. But truly, how I got into the group was I went to school. I took a summer job at Lear, working building seats. Mm-hmm. Still there. So I went there. I did my summer. Stayed on as TBT, working, getting hours when I'm in school. End up meeting Adam Raymond.
Shouts to Adam Raymond.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that dude in years.
Yeah. I end up hanging out with him, talking to him. I think my first time actually going into a group, I think, was actually at a Nuke Duo gig.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Like November 2013.
I'm just kidding, guys.
I know it's pretty horrible. I get drunk all the time.
Yeah,
the
music's so bad. You have to get hammered, and then they make more money because the bar makes. It's a vicious circle. They're smart though.
Yeah,
and they know I'm kidding. It's a joke, but
it's always a good time though.
Yeah, for sure.
If you ever get a chance, go see the guys. The
Nuke Duo. You can find them on Facebook as well. It's Nathan and Luke. Nuke, get it?
Yeah.
When I figured that out, I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
You probably felt like Einstein, didn't you?
I felt because at first I felt really smart, and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm an idiot because how did I not know that sooner? I got to have them on the podcast because I feel like that'd be, because I've known Nathan for like over 20 years.
Yeah. Like,
so I'm like, I need to have Nathan on the podcast.
Isn't Nathan like very busy though?
He's a busy dude.
And then Luke's also pretty busy with the
Luke's personal trainer. Yeah. I got to be honest. That's something I didn't see coming.
No.
Knowing, like, I mean, I've known Luke for years as well. Like, but
when I met Luke, he was the same. It was like basically the same boat as Bowden, where it was like, this guy's a big guy like me. Okay, and then now I see him, I'm like, wow.
Yeah, it was great. Like he's lost all his weight. He's in good shape. He's a freaking personal trainer.
Yeah, I never saw that coming.
But hey, it works for him. So what the hell, man? You know,
seems to be good at it.
And it's a passion that maybe developed, you know, later in his life or quickly, but whatever. Fuck it, man. So shout out to Luke Malika. Never given him a shout before. That was new, but
yeah. Who wants to give him a shout out though?
I like Luke. I got nothing wrong with Luke.
Me too.
You guys stop talking shit. Anyway, okay. All right. Wait. All right. We're getting off it.
All right, getting back. So I went to Newcastle House gig.
Shout out to Newcastle House.
First time I ever been at that bar.
Aye.
Like, that thing is so small, and every time we pack it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm kind of sad the fact I missed last week's, but I already had other plans. It's like, yeah, if I would have known sooner, I probably would not have made them, but...
I just didn't want to go.
No,
I'll say stuff like that, right?
I know.
And like, some people are like, why are you so hard on them? I'm like, because they're my buddies. Like, they know I'm, especially Nathan, like, he knows I'm completely joking, but it's just like...
Yeah, it's one of those things. Like, you rip on your buddies, you know, you do all the, you know, normal...
BS and stuff,
like all the BS stuff, and it's just like, okay, that's just buddies being buddies.
Yeah, but then when it comes down to it,
if it came down to it, you know, you're going to be there for your buddy. When it's serious moments, it's serious moments. Mm-hmm. But when, you know, you're just hanging out or whatever, you're going to take a few shots.
I'm going to chirp the nuke duo as much as possible because I know he would do the same. Like whenever I have him on the podcast, probably 20 years from now when he's not so busy, actually like 30 or 40 when he's retired, I'll have him on. When I'm like episode like 3,000.
3,000, that's it? Come on.
By then it'll actually be a lot more than that.
I think by that 20, time we're going to be on one a day, you know, we're going to go 5 days a week.
Buddy, I'll tell you this. I'll break kayfabe a little bit right now. This is a Hodder Show exclusive from DJ Hodder. This morning I was all bad out of shape, right?
Yeah.
Because I did the one episode last week, and like having the week not doing a podcast. Like, I mean, I did miss it, and I was like, man, I want to do a podcast. I just didn't have time. But I was like, man, maybe I should go down to one a week. I was seriously thinking about it today. And I text the producer, as I usually do, because he's my producer. And I go, man, I don't know. And he basically was just like, what are you doing? Like, you're going to hate it, because you're going to do one a week. You're going to have, like, 10 of them done, like, ahead of time.
Yeah.
And you're going to be all bored.
Like, interviews and that, where it gets 2 parts, and you just start talking, and then, oh, look, it's 2-parter.
Exactly. So it's like, he's like, you're going to hate it. And I'm like, yeah, I know, you're right. He's like, what are you worried about? I want to make sure I'm putting all the time in the editing and all that kind of bullshit and whatever. But, so it's funny you say that, the one a day. I don't know if I could do one a day.
Yeah, I think it'd be too much.
No one listens now. If I did one a day, no one would literally listen.
I'd probably still listen.
You'd listen because you're my number one fan.
I got nothing better to do.
Yeah, I can. I'm sitting at home, man. I can listen to TJ's podcast, or I can.
I don't listen when I'm home. I listen at work.
So if you weren't at work, would you still listen?
Depends on the episode.
You can be honest with me, because no one.
Honestly, if it's, I love the hangout episodes with like Bowden, Woody, and all of them, because it's the fact of I'm hearing stories that I've never heard of, and it starts filling in these blank spots in my memory, because I've only been around for, you know, maybe
a year,
a couple of years.
Yeah, a couple of years, yeah.
So it's like, okay, I'm hearing all these people. I'm starting to hear all these stories. It's like, okay, now things are starting to fit in. Mm-hmm. Like, I was listening to the One Boat Grad, like our prom.
Yes, the high school one.
The high school one. You know, I'm hearing the fact of, oh, so we were all these like basically straight edge kids. Yeah. You know, we'd sit and drink pop, and
hell yeah, buddy.
Grad night or prom night, we sat and drank pop and ate chips and whatnot. You know, we did all these like whatever.
We were very uncool.
But I'm like, that's me in high school. Like, that's me to a T. I didn't go to prom. I didn't all that stuff. Like, that's what I did. I went and drank pop. I played video games and all that instead.
That's what we did too. I still do that.
I didn't even start drinking until I was like 20.
I didn't either.
Like, I don't know how now, but the fact of like you get around like certain people like Garrett and me is like we start hanging out, we start drinking.
Fun fact, you may not know this, and he's gonna kill me for saying this, but I don't care. Brandon Bowden, the producer, producer of the Hodder Show, folks.
Yeah.
He never drank, ever. Like, he used to look down on it.
Yeah.
And it just literally, like, one night, I think he just had a drink, and like that was it. And like so it's funny to me, like I look back and I'm like, really? Like Brandon Bowden of all people like was like this big bar goer, and I'm like, what? Like it's funny for me because I'm like, seriously?
Yeah.
But he probably killed me for saying that, but whatever.
But that's the thing, it's like I'm hearing that, I'm like, that's not the guys I know.
Yeah.
And also hearing Little Garrett.
Oh, dude.
Oh my God, I cannot imagine Garrett lower than 6 feet. Like,
yeah, like he was like literally like 5'4".
But I see the pictures and I laugh at all you guys. I'm like, we all had the same freaking upbringing. Like,
I'm sure we would have all gotten along in high school, and you would have been in our clique, I'm sure.
Probably.
And that's what's funny. Like I think that's why like I like feel like I've known you like forever, because it's just like we're just so similar in that respects. Yeah. But you were kind of talking about how you kind of came in the group. So just what was like, so you started hanging out with Adam.
Yeah.
Raymond. Shouts to Adam Raymond.
Me and him became close friends. Mm-hmm. So I kept going to all the parties. I kept going and going all the Nuke Duo gigs, like everything. So I just ended up building those friendships over time and just end up somehow osmosing over to the other side of the group.
Slowly slithering your way in there.
Well, it's one of those things where it's, okay, I'm on this side of the group, then I just somehow move into a different section.
We were like the NWO.
Yeah.
And you're like, who are you in the NWO? You're like, who are you? You're, what the hell's his name? You're like Virgil. He's kind of like showed up.
Yeah.
And we're like, all right, cool, he's in. That's a horrible comparison, but you know what I'm saying.
God, because I didn't even know Virgil was in the...
Okay, that's maybe a terrible example, but whatever, we'll stick with it. And when I would like hear about you, and I think the first time I like saw you was on the stream. Your afternoon. Yeah. And I would see you like just chirping, right?
Oh yeah, I chirp all day.
And I had heat with you big time. Oh, I did not like you.
What was your handle?
The Iceman 91.
Oh, I didn't see you because
I didn't chat. I wasn't in the chat all the time because I'd be at work.
I became mod. Like I was the first mod in that thing. Yeah. So that tells you how much
Yeah, exactly. And literally, I freaking like the one day I think after he was on streaming, I called him, and Brandon can even back me up on this. I literally called him and I was like, "Who the fuck is that guy? I'm gonna knock him out." And like he's like, no, like he's my buddy, it's cool. And I'm like, he's a prick. It's like I didn't get it, because to me, I'm like, no, that's my boy. You don't say that. Like you don't talk crap about them. Like that's them. And like I remember I was so mad. And he's like, you don't even know him. I'm like, he's a dick. And then like as time went on, he was like, oh yeah, my buddy, like I think it was at the Royal Rumble, because I think you showed up last, right?
I showed up last.
So he's like, oh yeah, by the way, my buddy's coming. And I'm like Matthew's coming. I'm like, Matthew Cannons. I'm like, that guy, like the guy from, he's like, yeah. I'm like, is that right? Like, I'm all like defensive. He's like, you guys are going to get along so well. So I don't know if I ever told you that, but I kind of had this like preconception.
I'm just
like,
sitting here laughing because I'm like,
so I'm like, came in and just like, what's going on, and tried to give you the old firm handshake just to let you know what's up. And then like 3 seconds in, I'm like, okay.
Well, I came in walking in with a style shirt on. You can't hate me there.
I think literally you came in and sat down and like you like, yeah, AJ Styles, I've been following since TNA, and like you said a couple things, and I'm like, okay, he's in. Like he's in.
That's the thing. Like I was a huge wrestling fan in high school. Mm-hmm. Like I got in high school. That's when like Cena was like the long run Cena. I'm gonna beat all these people that, I'm unbeatable, and then I'm going to beat them back-to-back pay-per-views. Oh, look, there goes Umanga's winning streak. There goes Great Khali. There goes,
Spoken like a true mark.
That fun fucking streak. You know what I'm talking about, though.
Yeah, it's I know. He keeps beating everybody.
It's where the Super Cena meme comes from.
No, I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
So, like, I started then. Like, I really got into, like, the fact of I would go back and hunt down like old tapes, old, fucking find out all the old information. Like, my favorite stuff was the DVD releases where it wasn't like the matches. It was more the like personal documentation.
See, and that's mine too. I love that stuff.
Like, watching the old matches, yeah, some of them are great, but I don't care to watch old Raws. But if you're going to go over like the old facts and old, like, show the big moments, I'm all in for that.
See, I love that stuff too.
And so, watched that for years and then just slowly phased out. Just watching pay-per-views was just not feasible. Like, it was like, okay, I can go to the theater, or I have to spend $40 to get to my house.
Yeah.
Or, I have to go over to somebody's house that wants to pay $40 and we split it and whatnot. But it's like, okay, let's go and figure this out and just let it sit. End up meeting other friends, getting more into more gaming than really wrestling, just spending all my time just playing COD or whatnot. So I go with Adam to Alan Hannah's brother, Andrew.
I know Andrew.
Yeah.
Shout out to Andrew Hannah.
And, I go there for WrestleMania 32. And that I see I go, okay, I watch wrestling. Okay, let's go back, watch it. Like, the next day I bought 2K15 because I missed it.
I just got back into it completely.
And that RKO is still the best RKO I've ever seen.
That RKO on Seth Rollins.
Oh my God.
Well, we were here. Ryan, Brendan, and I, we were all here watching it, right?
Yeah.
That was before the Hodder Show wrestling fan thing, which we are going to get to. We are going to get to that in a little bit here.
And how bad it is.
And how bad it is, and how terrible that show is. How terrible in general this podcast is. But we're sitting there watching that. We just went, oh, Undertaker comes out and we're all like holding hands, like freaking out, like shaking. Oh my God, is Undertaker going to lose again? And then they beat Bryan.
I heard, like, I wasn't watching at that time. Like, it was the whole Daniel Bryan, like, time he was in was the entire time I didn't watch.
Yeah.
Like, I did not see the Nexus. I did not see any of that stuff. Like, that was the entire time I'm out of wrestling. So, I hear, like, during that time is when Undertaker lost to Brock Lesnar.
Yes.
I heard that. I'm like, no.
I
like,
didn't watch that live either.
Even being, like, not into the thing anymore, it still was like, that
was like the saddest moment in wrestling history.
Yeah.
I still am a firm believer, and I don't care who says what. Undertaker did not need to lose to Brock Lesnar.
No.
Brock Lesnar did not need that push. Brock Lesnar did not deserve that push.
No. But did Brock just go into business for himself, though? No?
Here's the fun thing about that. People say that, and I go, okay, now let's back up for a second. Mark Calloway is 6'10", 300 pounds, and they call him the best striker in the business, and there's a reason for it. This is a man who, when he was afraid Shawn Michaels wouldn't do business, taped up his fists and waited for him.
He was the judge in the backward court.
The judge, jury, and if he needed to be the executioner.
There was a lot of Jack Daniel given to him.
Sure was. If there's one man Brock Lesnar would not want to mess with in the WWE locker room, I promise you it's Mark Calloway.
Yeah.
So if Brock went into business for himself, I can guarantee you there would have been a different outcome.
Yeah.
Because not only would the guys in the back not have had it.
Oh, yeah.
They would have, I don't care, kayfabe be damned, they would have stormed that damn ring and beaten the shit out of Brock Lesnar.
It would have been Jericho all over again.
Jericho would have come up, you stupid idiot, and kick his ass.
Well, no, after, what was it, SummerSlam and the Randy Orton match?
Apparently he...
Jericho got all up in Lesnar's face because no one told him that the fact of that deep elbow was actually supposed to be
supposed
true.
To cut him, yeah. And that's the thing that's hilarious is like, because there has been no official confirmation from that.
Yeah.
Jericho hasn't talked about it on the podcast, and I was kind of hoping he would.
Yeah.
I was hoping he'd be like, yeah, so about this Brock Lesnar thing, Brock Lesnar's a pussy, blah, blah, blah. Like, no. But like, just... I think it's hilarious, but at the same time, I know that Brock Lesnar does have a ton of respect for The Undertaker. So
yeah, I also know the fact of there's been 5 or 6 different people approached to take down the streak. Honestly, I only ever felt like 2 people even should have been able to take down the streak. Who do you think those are?
Well, one's Bray Wyatt.
Yes,
he's one of the. As far as I'm concerned, Bray Wyatt's the only guy because he takes down the streak. He immediately, I mean, everyone hates him.
Yeah.
Immediately.
He's already come heel. Mm-hmm. The other thing is that it passes the torch of fear.
He's the new face of fear. No one's afraid of Bray Wyatt.
No.
She keeps losing to everybody.
Yeah. And who do you think the second person is?
John Cena.
No. Randy Orton. But back in the Legend Killer days.
Yeah, back in the day.
I'm not saying now it'd make no sense.
Yeah, back
but
in the day.
In the Legend Killer phase, it would have made so much money.
Yeah.
Like it was like, even though Orton was already going up, that would have just put him into the stratosphere.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like the fact you take down Taker and you take down the Streak, that is the ultimate legend.
That is a huge freaking deal. Like it. I mean, there's like I know like they approached Kurt Angle.
Yeah, Kurt Angle.
And Kurt Angle was like, "Are you joking? No, like, too much respect."
Like,
John Cena wouldn't do it either. Edge wouldn't do it.
Orton said the same thing. It was like,
he's too much respect.
He's too much respect for me. He's just like, I can't do it.
I'm not the one who's going to break the streak.
Yeah,
but I mean, it is what it is. That's definitely a big soft spot for a lot of wrestling fans. I'm still heartbroken over that. That's just the saddest thing.
Like, I don't care the streak got broken. It at one point,
for sure, it needed to be broken. Eventually.
The other thing is that Taker's from the old school era. He wants to go out on his back.
Exactly.
Like that's his motto. It's It's
wrestling. It's old school wrestling motto. You go on your back. That's how it is.
You go out on your back. You put the younger talent over.
Mm-hmm. That's how it is.
I would rather him, won against Brock Lesnar and then 2 years later lost to Bray Wyatt. Mm-hmm. Because losing to Bray Wyatt and then him actually just retiring does so much for the company to push a new face or new heel or new face into
basically you're a new Undertaker.
Yeah,
someone needs to do it.
Basically, like instead, because Undertaker's been like what do you call it, part time for a long time. Yeah. Like,
at the same time, if anyone's deserved it, it's him.
Yeah,
he can totally be part time, and that's fine.
Yeah. Oh yeah, him and The Rock.
Yeah. Well, I mean, The Rock's a difference. That's a little different.
The Rock, he can still come back and like.
It's just the thing is, I mean, I still love The Rock. Yeah. I didn't like it when he first came back because he came back and he was like, I am never leaving again. And then what happened?
He leaves.
He left. And I was like, I didn't like how he said that. But like now when he comes back and he just kind of hangs out, I'm like, cool. I dig it.
You remember the last time he came back, the Miami incident?
Yeah, he did that awesome.
Oh my God, he broke kayfabe so hard. And it's like,
talk to those guys in the front
row. The only
row.
person in the company who can do that and not get fired, not get fined.
What are they going to do? They're going to fire him? He's probably not under contract.
No.
What are they going to do to The Rock?
Fine him. He's the number one grossing
actor in the world right now. What are they? Vince is like, damn it, Rock, I'm going to give you a fine. Yeah. It's like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do to The Rock? So The Rock does whatever he wants, and that's fine. That's The Rock.
Yeah.
But that backstage thing was so good.
Oh, yeah.
He's talking to the Big Show.
Oh yeah. You could have been the
you could have been the Scorpion King. Yeah. He said he saw that match and he was like, oh, that Rock guy looks good. So if you won that match, you probably would have been Scorpion King. He breaks his laptop.
Goes up to Lana. Goes.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Last time, all those moves and that and everything like that, all that backroom training.
Yeah, and then he goes to Rusev. He's like, "Yeah, your girl's pretty flexible." He just walks away. And the thing, it's like, what's Rusev gonna do to The Rock? Not a damn thing, because if he tries, The Rock's gonna school him. That's the thing that's cool, at least knowing that The Rock can still, like, damn well, The Rock could still go if he needed to.
The only thing is, the 16-second match at the last WrestleMania was completely unnecessary.
That was lame.
Completely unnecessary. It made Rowan look completely weak.
Yeah.
Like, I'm glad they didn't make Bray do it, but also Bray had an injury at that time, too.
That would have killed him.
It would have killed Bray.
It made Rowan look pathetic. And he's an amazing talent, so he doesn't need to look like that. But
they haven't used him in a show lately. It's kind of...
I don't know what they're doing. I think he was in a backstage segment where he just was standing there.
Yeah, but they really haven't done anything with him. Like,
I think they're waiting for... and that's the thing is, like, this is what...
Are you waiting for Luke Harper? I was expecting Luke Harper to come down, during...
he's not ready yet, dude.
The Backlash pay-per-view.
He's not ready yet.
I was waiting for some big thing, and then it ends up being Kane. I'm like, really? Like, you could have debuted Shelton Benjamin, like re-debuted.
He can't come either. He's injured.
Is Benjamin injured?
Belton's injured.
Okay, because I know the fact that you got signed.
Shoulder injury.
Oh God.
I don't even think he necessarily confirmed that he was signed. I think just he was in talks.
Oh,
and then
no.
He
No,
got
I
injured.
thought they confirmed.
Did they actually confirm it?
They confirmed
I
it
don't
on the
remember.
first live SmackDown. So they confirmed that he's their
signed.
talent, but it's...
Yeah, I know he has a shoulder injury because he tweeted it.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, unfortunately, I got this like shoulder injury I got to take care of. I'm going to be out for a few months. So
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll see him, though. I can't wait for that.
yeah.
That's sweet. All right, guys, I'm going to take a quick second here to give him a shout out to my man, Mr. Jason Reese over at Jrs Digital Arts. Jason does phenomenal work, whether you need a logo done, you need t-shirts, posters, album design, you need tickets done up, photo manipulation. You're still with me? You need advertising stuff, you need business stationery, you need mailers, you need brochures, fine art, and literally anything else you can think of. Jrs Digital Arts can create it. No project is just a generic template for Jason, and every single job is an opportunity to create something unique. So if that sounds appealing to you, be sure to hit Jason up on the web at www.jaybird, that's Jaybird, Jaybird, digitalarts.com. You can also find him on Facebook under the Jaybird Digital Arts handle, and as well on Instagram under the Jaybird Digital Arts handle. If you'd like a look at stuff that Jason has done on the social media, be sure to hit the hashtag Jaybird Digital Arts link that is on all of the Hodder Show stuff. Take a closer look at the kind of things Jason has done. And if you do happen to use his services, be sure to let him know that TJ sent you. Obviously, we've been talking about wrestling for the last little bit, so we'll just talk wrestling. So
We could talk all day about this, you know that.
I know we could talk all day about wrestling. So who would you say is your favorite wrestler right now?
Right
Or give
now.
me like your top 5 if you can't give me one.
Okay, top 5.
In no particular order if it makes it easier.
1 and 2 right now are flip-flops, but they're both the champions, you know, both.
Yeah. They're my top 2 as well.
Current or ex tag team partners of Jericho. In the last 6 months, how do you get gold in the company? You partner with Jericho.
Yeah, partner with Jericho. That's the best way to do it.
AJ Styles and Kevin Owens.
Yeah. And the thing is, they were my favorite guys in the company before they freaking won the gold.
Well, like, I never got introduced to Kevin Owens till I started rewatching Raw and stuff like that. Like,
and you didn't see him as Kevin Cena or anything.
No, I never saw the indie days.
Yeah.
Like, I never really followed the indie stuff anyways. But, like, I watched just his gimmick, like, just how he is, and being a bigger guy. It's like, you know, seeing this bigger guy actually do good in the company and, like, things he can do, it's just insane.
He's a phenomenal worker. Like, he's amazing.
Yeah, he's my spirit animal.
He's my spirit animal. He's a fat guy.
Have you not seen that? The picture of Kevin Owens at the bash. Like the,
he's sitting under the table.
He's sitting under the table with the big
chips.
chips. I'm like, that's my spirit animal right there.
He is literally me as a human being. Kevin Owens is me. Last thing is, like for Halloween this year, I was going to go as Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
Like I was going to do, but then I'm like, I can't go into work just as Kevin Owens because that's just not, I can't do that.
My next 2 are Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt. I don't know which order they are.
Pick.
And you know that, like, those are my current roster picks as guys I like. You know, they're on TV. They have things I want to watch.
Oh, for sure.
Like, so when I see like the SmackDown roster, I'm like, yes, the SmackDown roster.
Oh, SmackDown's so much better.
Like the roster pool, the people always go, oh, the pool's lower. But the guys you have in there, you know, they're all big draws. Like, Raw's got a lot more guys, but
SmackDown has as far as I'm concerned, they have the key players.
Yeah.
You got Cena and AJ right off the bat.
Yeah. That, honestly, the moment Cena came back and AJ got in the ring, I got shivers.
So did I.
Like, it was like, oh my God, this is actually happening.
And the feud they've had is so good. And I want to beat up John Cena. Like, it's so, I love that.
I hate what they're doing with the club right now.
Yeah.
Like they don't need the comedy gimmick. They just need to be,
I feel like
they just need to be, like,
they need to be ass kickers.
We need to make the joke quick.
Yes.
And then we'll just back it up.
And that's the thing is they're not really backing it up.
We don't need to go and do this 50-50 booking. We need to show some dominance in that tag team division. Like, I know you're a big New Day fan.
Yeah.
I don't like them at all. Like, I respect, you know, they are comedians. Like,
it's their role they play, but they're also good athletes.
They are. But, like, just my preference is they're not the kind of guys I like. I like the guys that can actually back it up.
Yeah, well, I'm the same way. I like the New Day a lot more when they were still kind of backing it up, whereas lately, like, they haven't really.
Yeah,
it's the same problem Ryan's always had with the New Day, the heel Ryan would.
Yeah.
His problem is with the New Day has always been the same thing, and that's not him playing his gimmick.
Yeah.
Because, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to break kayfabe here again.
He actually does not like.
Sometimes Ryan will say things just to get a rise out of people. It's what he does. He is a heel, but in reality, he just doesn't like the New Day because he goes. You got Kofi Kingston, who's arguably one of the greatest wrestlers we've seen in a long time as far as a cruiserweight style guy is concerned.
Cruiserweight, and he has the athleticism.
Yeah.
Like, what is he now? Like, almost 40, isn't he?
No, I don't think so.
I think he's like mid-30s
early 30s, mid-30s.
Yeah.
But the thing is, a guy like him with his style, he could keep going, no problem, because he's athletic, but he's not like crazy athletic.
Yeah.
And you got friggin' Big E, he's a good big guy.
Yeah.
And he can talk, and you know, he's got a unique look and everything. And then you got friggin' the hell's his name? Xavier Woods.
Yeah.
I don't know how I forgot. I drew a blank
Xavier
on
Woods,
him.
like, I love him as a manager. Like, he does have an interesting style in the ring.
Yeah.
Whenever he does actually get in the ring, I kind of wish he had more ring presence.
So do I, yeah.
Than he does. You know, I wish the fact of, like, Big E would sit out one match, you know, actually use the Freebird rule.
I would like to see that as well, because it's, I mean, in that
Like,
group, obviously Xavier's the best talker.
Yes,
But
by far.
I would still rather see him in the ring more because he has such a unique style.
He does. Like, just everything about him, like, even just the elf boots.
Yes.
Like, he has this, like, different presence than the other two, I should say. But
Francesca.
Yeah, Francesca. So, best thing about Francesca is when she got broken.
It's the heel Matthew Cannon's. No.
But, yeah, like, that's the thing. Like, in AJ Styles, going back to AJ Styles, I loved him back in TNA. Like, the shirt I walked in with was an old TNA shirt from when I used to watch. I actually went down to, down to Florida where they were taping it. I actually got, me and my dad, we went and we're at a taping. It's one of the episodes where they were making one of the factions. I can never remember what it is.
There's a lot of factions with TNA.
But the War Machine Rhino came up through the stands and stood between me and my father.
Wow.
Like,
that'd be cool.
Yeah, it was cool. Like,
Rhino.
Yeah.
Can I get your autograph?
I actually ran into him again at the House of Hardcore show.
That's right. You went to that. I forgot.
Oh, yeah. That was good.
That was a good time. What's hilarious about the House of Hardcore stuff is my man Mr. Jason Reese over at Jaybird Digital Arts, plug there.
Yeah.
He does like he does Tommy Dreamer's logos and stuff, his t-shirts and that, right? So it's always funny someone brings up House of Hardcore and Tommy Dreamer, and I'm like, still want to have Tommy Dreamer on the podcast one day, maybe one day. I can pay him for his time. But
people get paid?
Well, you won't, but other people do, yeah. Okay. I'll give you a t-shirt that you will pay me for later. I don't pay anyone who's on the podcast. Give me a break. It's just expected now. Like Ryan comes over to my house now, right? And we'll hang out and like... He's just like, so we podcasting or what? Like, he just expects it now. Same with Brandon. Yeah. It's all business. You know?
Well, Brandon's always been just business.
He's a producer.
Yeah.
Just even now, we're doing this, and he's honestly, trying to call me and stuff. And
we were sitting on the couch earlier talking. It's just like...
We're talking business.
We could just be talking and like...
It could have been a podcast easily. We're talking about work and stuff and that. And that's kind of BS, and it's hilarious. Just that, like, we're talking about that.
Like, me and you, I don't think we've ever actually sat down one-on-one and actually just shoot the breeze. Like,
that's exactly what this is.
Yeah. Like,
and that's the thing. It's like people will say, so like, you're having Matthew on the podcast. It's like, what are you guys going to talk about? I'm like, I don't know. We'll figure it out when we sit down. It's just us having a conversation. And that, to me, is what podcasts are, and that's what they should be.
Yeah.
Because those are the podcasts I like. I like hearing stories. I like hearing about that. I like hearing, so like I say to you, who's your favorite wrestlers, and you tell me, and that, like, that's cool. I like that stuff, and that's why I do it.
Yeah.
People don't like it. Well, don't listen to the show, I guess. I don't know what to say.
Yeah. Well, going back to favorite wrestlers, the old school days, like the people that are in the part-time or retired, I would have to go with, like, I'm a huge Triple H fan. Like,
oh, so am I.
Like, he's just, no matter if he's heel, face, whatever, he's still great worker, whatever, you know. Taker.
Obviously.
Yeah, like, but, like, those two are like my main. Like Stone Cold, I've been starting listening to more of his podcast, and he does a really good job.
Well, he can talk.
He can talk.
It's just
that's the other thing about these wrestlers nowadays. There's only like 5 guys in the company that cut their own promos.
Yeah, and can actually talk.
And one of those is Wyatt. Wyatt actually has
Wyatt can talk. He can talk.
Wyatt can talk, but he's one of the guys with permission to talk and not be scripted. You hear Titus O'Neil's promo. You saw that a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that thing was horrible. Bad.
But it's just like there's so many like gimmicks right now that are just like they're like the shining stars.
Oh my god,
I feel so bad for those two guys. They're trying.
Yeah,
you can tell they're actually putting effort forth, and they're trying to make whoever gave them that crappy gimmick happy. And you can just see it in their eyes. They're just like heartbroken over it.
Yeah, like they deserve better.
I mean, I hope that wasn't their friggin' idea, or else I'm gonna be like, really, guys? Like, come on. But at the same time,
I doubt it because it's just too much of a plug. It's basically the Puerto Rico came to them. Hey guys, we give can give us we'll pay you some money, promote our stuff, promote our tourism, and like this week. Did you watch this week's Raw?
I haven't seen it yet. No, I haven't.
Well, they go up to Enzo and Cass trying to sell like a condo to him.
Oh my god!
And since Enzo got rolled up last week with the tights pull, they go, I got unfinished business with you. If I just like, he's not having any of it.
Oh, of course. You're going to take a second here to appreciate the fact that Enzo Amore probably is one day going to be like the face of the company.
He's going to be a talker, like for sure.
I think he's the best talker they have.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone can touch him on the mic. Maybe like Jericho.
Yeah, Jericho's really good. Like,
Jericho's been doing it forever.
Yeah.
He's probably the best.
Wyatt's a different talker. So
he's a different kind of talker.
Yeah. But just like outright talker, Jericho is up there.
Yeah.
And so is...
Did you hear Enzo and Cass on Talkers Jericho?
No, I didn't.
Oh, wait, no, sorry. They weren't... Sorry, on Stone Cold's podcast.
No, I didn't.
They did 2 of them. Listen to them.
Okay.
That, and if you want to hear like one of the best podcasts you'll ever hear in your life, there's like 4 I'm going to recommend to you right now, and everyone else listening. Enzo and Cass are 2. You listen to those 2 on Stone Cold's podcast. They're awesome. They're so good. You listen to Talkin' Shop, presented by Talkers Jericho. Talkin' Shop was the podcast of Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson before they came to America when they were in Japan. Yeah. That freaking podcast, oh my god. # worst podcast ever. That's what they call it. And it was like one that Jericho did kind of with them, and AJ's there too, and like they get noise complaints. It's so good. And then there's one of you ever heard of The Art of Wrestling?
No.
It's Colt Cabana.
Okay.
You know who that is?
Yeah, I know Colt.
He's an indie guy, and like he was in WWE for a little bit. He
was at House Hardcore.
Probably, yeah, he was there. His podcast, it's amazing. He interviews wrestlers and talks about wrestling. It's amazing. You would love it. It's right up your alley. Yeah. He did one with the Bullet Club, which was Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson. And like literally just like 20 minutes in, Colt's like, do you want me to just turn off the microphone? Like it's just, because it's just a big BS session, and they're doing voices, and they're just, oh my God, it's so good. That's why I love Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. I hate that they're just like, they're funny as hell guys, and they're entertaining, so I get why they're doing it. But I'm like, they need people to back it up.
Honestly, the thing is a 50-50 booking with them. With we win, we don't win, trading wins back and forth with New Day. Mm-hmm. And then you have the fact of like, you can tell that they're not coming up with their gimmick promo stuff. Mm-hmm. It's all written in the back because it's just not feeling like it's coming from the heart from them. Yeah. Like those guys can be funny.
Yeah, but at the same time, I feel like the whole like jar thing.
Yeah,
I feel like they totally could have come up with that though. At the same time, I wouldn't have put it past them to be like, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna this
beat up John Cena.
Yeah, like that had to have been their idea. What are you gonna do tonight? I'll go home and say, hey, I'm gonna beat up John Cena. Like, so good, and they were beating the shit out of John Cena, and that's what made it great. And it's just like, man, it is what it is. But talking about wrestling.
Going back to one last point. The 5th guy in my
yes, sorry, 10, I didn't know I finished that.
Our top 5 is a new guy that's just debuted on Raw from NXT. Too bad he's injured right now. Thank you, Rollins. And if you didn't know, I just rolled my eyes. Finn Balor. He's just such an
that was amazing.
interesting guy. Like, I want to know what they're going to do with him. Because you have Gallows Anderson, which, if everyone doesn't know, the fact that Finn Balor and Gallows Anderson actually made the Bullet Club.
Yes.
So you have, like, the main founders.
Are in the same company.
Yeah. And, like, they're on the same show.
Could that ever happen? I think I did a little bit of fantasy booking in the SummerSlam episode with Ryan. I talked about how if Finn comes back.
Yeah, I sent you my fantasy booking, right?
I think you did. Yeah, I can't remember. I can't remember that, but.
Well, basically the fact that the Demon has to come out at a pay-per-view after a win, destroy whoever the champion is. And basically the Demon has to basically state that he wants what he never lost.
Yeah.
You can't do it as Finn.
It has to be the Demon.
It has to be the Demon. Because the Demon goes
the Demon King.
The Demon King wants what is his. The Demon won the title. The Demon never lost it.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that he went and took that shot and then popped his shoulder back in and continued on the match.
You know what the sad thing about that is
he probably could have sustained, like, if the match would have been stopped, he would have been safe. He
probably would have torn it. Because I think he tore his, I can't remember the name of the muscle there. Whatever he tore.
Yeah.
I feel like if he didn't pop his shoulder back in, he wouldn't have torn. I don't know. I could be totally wrong about that. But you knew the second it happened, he got hurt. Yeah. You saw him click.
Yeah, and he thought he could get through it maybe, and maybe he
got through it, and
he got there. But I think that was more the fact the fans and all the adrenaline going through. His
parents was there and everything,
and the fact you're being told you can be the first title holder
of the new title, the Universal title.
Like, they're trying to build it up. Like, I love what they're doing with KO with it. The fact of Jericho's going on the longest running.
Yeah, that's so good.
And it's like 2 weeks.
Best friend. Like, but it's true.
It is.
He's the longest reigning. It's true.
But, like, I feel KO has to hold up for a while.
He does.
Just because, like,
I feel he will.
Short reigns do nothing for titles prestige.
Yeah.
It's the long reigns. Like, when you hear Cena's, like, 2-year-long reign as WWE Championship, that makes the title better.
That makes, even though the title doesn't really exist anymore.
What, 10-year run, or how many year run was it of Steve Blackman? Is it Steve Blackman?
Steve Blackman.
No.
You're funny. Who are you talking? Steve Blackman was like hardcore champion like a few times.
Oh. I can't remember who it was, but it's the longest running WWE champion.
I think that was Bruno Sammartino.
Bruno, yeah, sorry. Hey, it's been a while since I've looked up those
Ladies
facts.
and gentlemen, the Mark Matthew Cannons. And that's why you're the Mark Matthew Cannons. Just a little fumble like that, it just makes it sound so funny.
It does.
I know, actually I didn't know who you were talking about what time. Yeah, Bruno Sammartino, if I'm not mistaken, was the longest reigning.
What was it, like 8 years, 10 years?
It was a long fucking time.
Like, he had years, and that puts prestige onto a title. Like,
and then, you got CM Punk, who was the longest reigning of the modern era. Almost 500 days, 451 days, something like that.
He got a decent title run.
Yeah. Unfortunately, when his UFC debut, but
yeah. I saw that. That was horrible.
Oh, okay, now, you know how much I used to hate CM Punk.
Yeah.
Only because the reason I hated CM Punk and I was talked so harshly of him is because when he left the wrestling, just how much crap he talked.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that because he said some things and I'm like, come on, like, I get you're bitter at WWE, but you used to love wrestling. Don't that fake thing I used to do and all this crap.
Yeah, he's still doing that whole.
He's still pretty harsh on it.
Yeah.
I get it. I totally get it. But now I understand. But at the time I was mad. But seeing how hard, did you watch any of the documentaries that like Evolution of Punk documentaries or whatever?
No, I actually have be honest, when Punk first came into ECW, I loved the shit out of him. He was great.
I did too.
Like, I loved the straight edge gimmick, because at that time I was straight edge. So it's like, okay, this guy, he can actually put moves in, he can actually work. But then the fact of, over time, it's just like, I just pushed him away. I'm like, whatever. Like everyone else, like we pushed him to the back.
Yeah.
Where he had the skill to be upper mid card or top talent. But
yeah, well, I mean, when he came into the WWE and actually became a player, I mean, he should have been the face of the company.
Yeah.
And I mean, in some ways he was, in some ways he wasn't. But the saddest thing about the whole UFC thing is the fact that now, like, I mean, a massive part of me obviously wanted him to win.
Yeah.
Because that would have shut everybody up. hey, look, a fake wrestler beat a UFC fighter.
Yeah, and it's not Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, it's CM Punk.
But also, if you don't remember, Brock Lesnar lost his first UFC fight.
He did.
But like, it's one of those things where UFC is a lot different than wrestling.
Well, at the same time, his first fight, CM Punk trained for not even a year. I think it was 6-7 months.
Yeah.
With a couple injuries in there as well.
Yeah.
And he came in and he fought a kid who, again, a kid. He's in his 20s.
Yeah, he's 24, I think he was.
He was doing it. He's been doing it for 7 years. Of course Punk was going to lose. Who thought he was actually going to win that fight? And that's not me talking shit. That's me going, was the fight lopsided? Absolutely.
Yeah.
You see how quickly he dispatched that guy in his UFC debut?
Like,
he kicked his ass.
It's not wrestling. Like, you don't just go, okay, I'm going to go right in for this, and it's just going to happen.
CM Punk went for a punch, and that was it. And I mean, the thing is, people are like, haha, he didn't even make it past the first round. Mickey Gall said, I'm going to finish him in like 45 seconds. He's not even going to last a minute.
He lasted 2.
He lasted 2 minutes. Now, was it still embarrassing for Punk, the fact that like he just got worked over?
Oh yeah,
I think he maybe got like a couple blows into his head.
But they weren't like hard hits either. If you watch them, they were like the side punches, where side punches aren't that hard.
It's the fact that there was a couple times he had some stuff locked in and Punk got out of it.
Yeah.
So like, but the effort that he put forth and the heart he showed still for just folks. Here's a guy who he said, you know what, I would love to do that. That is one of my goals in my life. And he did it. Anyone who talks crap about that, I don't know what to say to you. Now, should he have been paid the amount of money he did?
Probably not.
Let me explain something to you. People tuned in and bought that pay-per-view
just for it,
to see CM Punk. Should Mickey Gall have been paid maybe a little bit more money? Sure. But with all due respect to Mickey Gall, no one paid for that fight to see Mickey Gall. I'm sorry, but they didn't.
But here's the thing now. Mickey Gall can actually go and have a better career now because
his career's going to skyrocket because of this.
Everyone's talking about him. Like before, I never knew who he was. He was a nobody.
And the thing is that's amazing. I'm so like there's a huge part of me that is so happy Mickey Gall won because he's a young kid. You know, he didn't like bash CM Punk that much. Like he talked the normal little bit amount of trash that you would talk.
Yeah.
But he didn't say anything that like he can't come back from.
No.
And at the end of it, you know, he was pretty respectful to Punk, and he's still been pretty respectful, other than him saying, oh, I had diarrhea during the fight or whatever. I'm like, really, dude? Like, do you need to say that to almost make Punk look worse? Like, but it is what it is.
The other thing is that I have a problem with the whole booking is, yes, CM Punk is his money name. Mm-hmm. But why can't it be like everyone else, like Chuck the Iceman Liddell? You know, where you have your nickname,
like Phil CM Punk Brooks.
Yeah, like it's.
I'm
Phil,
sure that was like, all marketing.
Well, it's Phil Brooks, CM Punk, like bracket CM Punk. If you really want to move away from like the wrestling days, then you move away from your wrestling name.
Yeah,
like it's one of those things.
Maybe
like,
eventually we'll see that.
It was a marketing ploy, but the thing is, even trying to move away from it now, you can't because the fact of people still don't know who Phil Brooks is.
Yes. That's why they have CM Punk.
Yeah, like that's the thing. You didn't even market the fact if he actually has a human name. Mm-hmm. You have CM Punk.
They didn't need to.
Yeah.
This was Dana White agreed to this to make money.
Yeah. And now he's like, this kid might not get another fight.
Yeah, okay, bye, CM Punk. Now he's saying, oh, I don't think CM Punk's next fight should be in the UFC. And that's everyone should have expected that.
Yeah.
You know, I know Punk's going to work his ass off. I know that Punk's going to fight again. It may not be in the UFC, but I bet you his next fight he's probably going to win. Because he probably isn't going to have another fight for like a year. And he's going to work in the last spar he did before the fight that they showed in the documentary. Like, he won the sparring session. And he was sparring and training with guys who were legit.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's unfortunate he lost. I wanted to just touch on it real quick. But everyone who's just talking mad shit about CM Punk needs to just calm down. Because at the end of the day, he was a guy who he didn't go in. I think he knew he wasn't going to win that fight.
He talked a lot, but he probably knew he wasn't going to win.
Deep down, he knew he was going to get worked over. And he said that. He's after the fight, like he's just like, you know what, guys, I did it. And after the fight, he's like, I lost. I let everyone down, but I'm going to work hard and train hard, and I will fight again. And that's all you can say.
But the other thing is me or you, completely honest, Would be out in 10 seconds.
I wouldn't even last a quarter of a second with Mickey Gall. He'd punch me once, I'd be on the ground.
Oh yeah, I'd be.
I mean, I'd school him with my chain if I got him on the ground, brother. Let me tell you something. No, I'd school him with my chain, brother. Drop a leg on him, couple of jabs.
Hey, maybe an STFU.
STFU. Well, this thing is in the training thing.
Or an STF actually in the
STF.
Or five knuckle shuffle. I think five knuckle shuffle work in UFC.
Yeah, bounce off the cage. Well, that's the funny thing is like. Mickey Gall, it was like on the Evolution of Punk, there was this thing where like it was like his brother, I think, and his sister, and they were like, oh, we're gonna show you the CM Punk defense, and one was a choke slam and then one was the sharpshooter or something, and I was just laughing. I'm like, okay, like they did that just to piss him off, but at the same time I'm like, hey, whatever, you know. Yeah. I mean, if I was a UFC fighter and there was this guy coming in who was a wrestler, I'd do the same thing. But it's like that guy who mocked Bobby Lashley in his debut fight.
Oh yeah.
Did you ever see that fight?
No, I never.
Bobby Lashley literally beat the shit out of him. Like he whipped his ass, and I was like, damn. But yeah, that's Bobby Lashley. He had training and stuff.
I have a serious question for you now, TJ.
Okay. So we've talked some wrestling.
We're still talking wrestling.
Okay, we're still talking wrestling. Okay.
Here's a serious question for you.
Okay.
When is Bobby Lashley going to win the TNA Knockouts Championship?
Probably this week.
Yeah, probably.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, what do you expect? He's taking down all the other golds.
Yeah, he might as well win that too. I mean, at this point.
The whole company's imploding anyways.
Yeah. Well, if they do the right thing with Matt Hardy.
Yeah. Matt Hardy.
That's a whole other conversation for a whole other podcast.
Like, honestly, you can tell we can already talk wrestling for ages.
I am definitely going to have you on again to talk some wrestling, but just kind of getting ready to wrap this up here, what I wanted to discuss, the main reason I have you on the podcast here today, the main reason, as you guys know, if you are a regular listener of the Hodder Show, thank you. Every single listen means the world to me, guys. Seriously, appreciate it. We do the wrestling panel shows, and now usually on these wrestling panel shows, I have my esteemed experts. We have the heel Ryan Wood, and we have the gimmick Brandon Bowden, also known as the producer Brandon Bowden, producer of the Hodder Show. As most of you may or may not know, Brandon is now working as a actual producer at Durham Radio, so he's working the night shift. So what this basically means is for future wrestling panel shows, Brandon most likely, unfortunately, is not going to be able to be involved with them just because of work reasons.
Work and timing. It happens. I'm
sure we will still, basically any chance we get, we're going to do stuff still, but just may not see a lot of Brandon. So my whole thing was, I was like, okay, Ryan's still around. Cool, right on. But I'm like, we did the SummerSlam one together, and that was always cool. Me and Ryan can do, and it's fun as how I love it. But having that third person to work off of is always fun too. And I'm going, who else do I know who I could do it with? And then you and me would talk wrestling, and you're listening to the podcast. And
the other thing is the fact I've been bugging you since like the beginning.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing.
Like I've been bugging you to first have me on the podcast, and then the second thing I've been bugging you to come on, let me in. You know,
let me in the podcast.
You guys need a spare. Let me in.
Yeah, and the thing is before Brandon took the job, like I was like, okay, like I'll bring Matthew in at some point as like my spare guy.
Yeah.
Like so, like if it's like the Freebird rule.
Yeah.
If Brandon or Ryan can't do it, I'll have you come in so that there's still three of us.
Now what happens if TJ can't do it?
I've thought about that as well.
Oh my god, that would be an awesome episode.
Because it'd be good. I thought of, and I told Brandon this. I'm like, okay, so bro, basically, if I can't do one, I was gonna have him and Woody do one alone. I was gonna Brandon host it basically, and I thought about it, and then
the takeover episode.
Yeah, I think it was Sam. She's like, the show is called The Hodder Show. It is your show. Why are you going to let someone else do an episode when you're not even involved? She's like, if you do an episode where someone interviews you kind of in a deal, she's like, that could be interesting. Someone else basically hosts it and they talk to you like you're the guest or whatever.
Yeah.
That could be interesting. But she's like, you're not involved at all. Like that kind of defeats the purpose. I'm like, I guess, but like, I feel like that'd be interesting.
I don't know. I have so many ideas.
Yeah. Well, we'll brainstorm on some ideas, but kind of the point I was getting at here, folks, is you're going to be seeing Matt join us on the wrestling panel shows whenever we do them. Unfortunately, the next pay-per-view I will not be able to watch as I wasn't able to watch Backlash either because of work.
Yeah.
Because I suck at booking time off. I always forget. But the next pay-per-view, definitely we will make a solid attempt. I don't even know what the pay-per-view is. What the hell's next? Not Night of Champions is the next one coming out. Well, Clash of Champions, excuse me.
Well, to bring back WCW.
Which is interesting. But that's kind of the point. The reason I mainly wanted to have Matthew on tonight.
No Mercy.
No Mercy, that's it. The main reason I wanted to have Matthew on was to kind of familiarize everybody with Matthew, because I've wanted to have him on for a while, but also with you coming in, I didn't want to just be like, yeah, by the way, here's Matthew. Like, I feel like you deserved a bit more of a lead in than that. So the next wrestling panel show should be myself, the heel Ryan Wood, and the Mark Matthew Cannons, which is your gimmick for the Hodder Show. So,
okay.
The Hodder Show wrestling panel.
Well, it does fit. My initials are MRC. So,
and that's the thing is, because we were talking about it, and at first you weren't for it.
I was like,
but I'm not a Mark. I'm like, that's why it's funny.
I was like, I don't really care, but still. And but the other thing is, like, I've always made the thing. I'm like, my initials do actually spell out Mark. If you had,
I know,
like it's actually hilarious that way.
So it just works, and I'm just like, man, it has to be that, because that's my that's what I call everybody. So you're good, because it was either that. I'm like, hey, the Hodder Show crew needs like a jobber, and I'm like, you're not a jobber. So I'm like, he's not going to be the jobber Matthew Cannon. That doesn't roll off the tongue. The Mark Matthew Cannon just rolls off the tongue. So that's going to be Matthew's gimmick here. But just before we wrap this up, I got one question for you I want to ask.
Okay.
Not wrestling related. I'm wrestling with nothing.
All right.
If you could pick one food item to eat for the rest of your life, what would it be?
This is hard.
This is a fat guy question from a fellow fat guy.
Well, fighting for the top spots.
Oh.
Pizza.
Yeah, salt
burgers.
Yeah.
Pasta.
Yeah, you had me at the first two.
Like, it's... I probably could do burgers. I think I'd do burgers. Simple fact is there's at least enough variety around.
Yeah, you'd be okay. Like you get like, protein in there and everything, like, and
it's not like just pasta where you end up missing, unless you're like including like fettuccine alfredo and stuff like that.
And it's one type of pasta, or one type of burger. So like, say you pick like,
that's easy. It's you got to go with the bacon cheeseburgers.
Yeah. You gotta just go with that. You gotta go with that. That's a solid choice. I love me my bacon cheeseburgers. Making me hungry.
I'm surprised you're not asking me like what restaurant.
I was just about to ask you if you had to pick a restaurant, what would it be? What's your favorite restaurant?
For burgers?
Yeah, a good recommend to me a good solid burger.
A good solid burger is Star Burger.
Yes,
but for like chains, my favorite burger is Harvey's the Angus.
See, I'm not a big fan of Harvey's anymore.
Like, I don't know. I'm not too, like, I eat at McDonald's, I eat at Wendy's, I eat at all of them. But the fact of Harvey's is where, like, if I had a choice, I go get Harvey's.
Yeah, because I used to love Harvey's, but I just
because I get 6 pickles on my burger. I'm one of those guys.
Sounds like me.
Like, it's lettuce, ketchup, mayo, and 6 pickles.
That sounds like a good burger.
Yeah, with cheese. It's a cheese one.
Cheese, yeah, of course. That sounds like a good freaking burger. I'm hungry.
Me too.
But,
maybe we'll go shoot into Boneville.
yeah. But anyway, we're gonna wrap this up here. We definitely will see Matthew again on the podcast. Talk some wrestling and that kind of thing. So, Matt, thanks for hanging out, buddy.
Thanks.
It's good to finally friggin' do this and sit down with you. And we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for the invite.
All right, guys, so that was my conversation with Matthew. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun doing that podcast. Definitely going to have Matt on again for part 2, talking about a little bit more about wrestling and talking about gaming and music. We didn't even get into that at all. We have so much ground to cover, and we just didn't have the time to cover it. So definitely going to have Matthew on again. Matthew, thanks so much, buddy, for taking the time to come and be on the podcast. I really enjoyed hanging out with you, and I enjoyed you guys hanging out with me. And Matthew, clicking on the podcast. You guys know how much I appreciate all the support. Really am trying to make the show as best I can for you. All the new gear and the new editing and all that kind of thing. Really hope you guys enjoy it. No matter how you listen to the Hodder Show, if you are listening in on the SoundCloud, be sure to hit that subscribe and like button. If you are listening in on the SoundCloud, also be sure to leave a comment. Always love to hear from you guys about whatever it is. If you are listening on the YouTube, be sure to hit the heck out of that subscribe button. Leave a like or dislike on the video, depending on what you thought of it. And of course, last but not least, if you are listening on the iTunes, which you guys know is the easiest way to listen to the Hodder Show. All you got to do is hit that subscribe button, and it will automatically be downloaded to the device of your choosing every single Thursday and Sunday. You don't even have to think about it, guys. Who doesn't like that? So be sure to hit the subscribe button on iTunes and maybe leave a little rating for the Hodder Show, depending on what you think. You know, always love to hear from you guys, even if it's not necessarily a 5-star. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the 5-star ratings. The Hodder Show is at 10 now, so that's awesome. Holding steady at the 10, so definitely always appreciate all the support, guys. But that is going to do it for me. Thank you guys again so much. If I don't thank you guys enough, I feel like I need to always thank you guys as much as I possibly can at the episode, just for taking the time to click the play button. Every single person who clicks play on these podcasts means the world to me. So thank you very much. I hope you have an absolutely phenomenal rest of your day, and I will catch you guys next time on The Hodder Show. Take it easy.